So what's up everybody at Sports? Welcome to a brand new video. STG here, and we're going to be talking about our NBA predictions for 2014/the 2015 season. It's going to be pretty intense, and I'm actually really excited to do this. Just get to evaluate every single team. So there really isn't no gameplay in this video, so you can simply just minimize this window. Obviously give that thumbs up if you like it, and of course just do something else, but just listen to what I have to say, and then in the comments down below let me know what you guys have to say. But before I start, if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to Sport, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be uploading a lot more NBA discussions on this channel as well, and a lot more great content's going to be on here. Like, I'm trying to make this the biggest hub channel ever for sports, obviously, and you can always submit your things. I'm going to be having sponsorships and giveaways and stuff exclusively on this channel, so make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed yet. But anyways, let's get this discussion started. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Eastern Conference first, and then we'll make our way to the Western Conference. I am not going to be covering playoffs yet. I will be doing that. Maybe I'll be doing playoffs the next video, playoff and finals predictions. So if you guys want to see that, go ahead and give that video a thumbs up. I might also post it on the main channel. We'll see what happens. Let's see if you guys let's see what you guys want. But anyways, I'm gonna click right here to see the full list of the standings and all that, so I could easily be able to let you guys know what I think. So we're gonna be starting off with the Eastern Conference. So let's start this off. Eastern Conference, a very competitive conference, not as competitive as the Western Conference, and we'll talk about that soon. But obviously number 1 seed, number 2 seed, obviously they're going to come down to Chicago and Miami. Both great teams, both really dominant teams. Cleveland obviously has, I said Miami, my bad, I mean Cleveland. Cleveland has LeBron James now and whatnot, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. They did beat my Chicago Bulls, and they have a bright future in the NBA league. But at number 1, just because I believe Chicago is still developing. When Cleveland versus Chicago, Jimmy Butler was not playing. He's a big-time asset to our team. For those of you guys who disagree, look at that game winner against Minnesota. I'm going to have to go with the Chicago Bulls being the number 1 team. They have the bench, which Miami right now doesn't, beside Tristan Thompson. And I'm just going to have to give that edge to Chicago. I know some of you guys might disagree, but the only thing is LeBron James himself said Chicago is the better team as of now. So for right now, I'm going to give it to Chicago, and just because I'm giving Chicago the number 1 seed does not mean I think that they're going to go to the finals. We'll have to see about that in the next video. So number 1, I am going to have to give to the Chicago Bulls, non-biasedly at all anyways. Number 2 goes to Cleveland. Come on, man. The 2nd seed is going to Cleveland. Chicago's number 1. Cleveland's going to go number 2. It's just what I think, and I honestly think that's perfectly fair to, to say. So I got Chicago 1. I got Cleveland number 2. So I'm taking a look at this list, and at number 3, I'm just going to have to go give it to Washington. I think when Bradley Beal comes back, even though he's not playing right now, Otto Porter and all these other dudes, along with John Wall, Gortat, Nene, I think that's the team that gets the number 3 seed. They're a great team, up and coming team. I think Washington Wizards get the number 3 seed. So at the number 4 seed, I'm going to give it to the Toronto Raptors. I think the Toronto Raptors also are a guaranteed playoff contending team. They're a very good team, and they have a lot of stacked players, and they just really, really are doing well. Like, what's his name? Terrence Ross, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Valen, I can't even say his name, but I picked up in fantasy. He's a beast. Like, I think the Toronto Raptors are a great team, and I think they get the 4th seed. At the 5th seed, this is when the stuff gets a little bit more tough, right? Like the top 4 seeds, guaranteed, splash it all day like it's going down, right? Those dudes are definitely coming down. But now it's where it gets a little bit more tough, right? This is where, this is where it gets tough. But at number 5, I'm looking at this list, and I'm going to have to give number 5 to the Charlotte Hornets. I think Kemba Walker and Lance Stevenson with Al Jefferson is just a dynamic duo. Like the first game with that crazy game winner by Kemba, I'm going to have to give number 5 to the Charlotte Hornets just by guessing right now. Like we barely have like 3 games played only. So this is just my thoughts and opinions. I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen come playoff time. Alright, so we already got the first 5 seeds established. Basically, I got Chicago at 1, Cleveland at 2, the Washington Wizards at 3, Toronto at 4, Charlotte at 5. So now I'm taking another look at these teams, and let's see. This is a tough one. At number 6, I would have to say, just by giving a glance at this team, You know, I'm thinking Atlanta. I'm going to have to go with Atlanta. I feel like this year they're going to do very well. I feel like Kyle Korver is going to get them to the seeds. You know, they're a very consistent playoff team as well. I'm going to have to go with the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks, who are a very, and I mean very, very consistent team in making the playoffs. Making the playoffs again as the 6th seed. Now the 7th and 8th seed, Team STG, and everybody else watching this video, it's a very hard one. Very, very hard if you're analyzing the 8th seed, because I mean the Eastern Conference, because there's just so many teams who are deserving of the playoffs. You know, at the 7th seed, I'm just going to have to give a wing, and I'm going to have to say the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to have to say the Brooklyn Nets. I think the Brooklyn Nets this year are, you know, they're doing it. You know, they're not maybe as good as last year, but I do believe they're still a playoff contending team, and I'm going to have to go with the Brooklyn Nets getting the 7th seed. Now, the 8th seed is by far the hardest decision that I've ever had to make in terms of picking a team, because we got teams like Boston. We got teams like New York. And beside that, I don't see anybody else making the playoffs. So I am kind of sick right now, so I do apologize for that in advance. But anyways, let's get to the 8th seed. Now the 8th seed, in my opinion, I'm just going to have to go with New York. You just got to go with them. You know, Boston's playing really well, Rondo playing really well as well. But to be professional, you got to go with the New York Knicks on this one, just because they have Carmelo Anthony. They're running the triangle. Amari playing better. Their bench is playing better. Jose Calderon hasn't been playing yet. J.R. Smith still J.R. Smith. You know, he's going to get his shots up. But you know what? I'm going to have to go with New York getting the 8th seed. Wow. If what I'm saying is true, it'll be Chicago versus New York in the, you know, the first round of the playoffs. So that'd be crazy. But yes, that is exactly who I have. Team STG making the top 8. At 9, I'm gonna give it to Boston. At 10, I'm gonna give it to. I can't give it to Indiana. I'm gonna give it to Milwaukee. I think 10 goes to Milwaukee. Then I got. Oh snap! I didn't even mention Miami. Okay, you know, we're going to take that back. Alright, so I gave the 6th seed to... That is so messed up, bro. Alright, 6th seed goes to Miami. 7th seed goes to Atlanta. 8th seed goes to either Brooklyn or New York. Right? I'm gonna put Brooklyn out of this, because I totally forgot about Miami. So I'm sorry, Brooklyn, that I rated you guys high. I forgot about the Miami Heat, who are definitely making the playoffs. I might even switch them between Charlotte. So they might even get the 5th seed. Charlotte gets the 6th seed. So I'm gonna go recap this 8th seed, this seed for you guys, just to make it clear. Number 1, we got Chicago. Number 2, we got Cleveland. Number 3, we got Washington. Number 4, we got Toronto. Number 5, we got Miami. Number 6, we got Charlotte. Number 7, we got the Atlanta Hawks. And number 8, we got either Brooklyn Nets or the New York Knicks. Okay? Dang, that's actually pretty cool. I just remember that at the top of my head. So at 9, I'm going to either give it to the Brooklyn Nets or the New York Knicks, obviously. 10, I'm going to give it to the Boston Celtics. 11, I'm going to give it to Milwaukee. The Bucks, you know, Jabari Parker doing pretty well. 12, I'm going to have to give it to, let's see, I'm going to give it to Detroit. You know, 13, I'll give it to Indiana. 14, I'll give it to like Orlando. 15, Philadelphia. I believe that's it. If I did miss another team, you know, it pretty much is the same thing. Like I really want to get a main emphasis on the top 8, right? Emphasis on the top 8. But you know, Indiana, no Paul George. Detroit, they're not playing too well. I need them to step up. I have Andre Drummond. I want him to do well. Orlando, great team. Still needs more depth, and you know, Philadelphia's 1 or 2 more years away from seriously being crazy contenders. Now it's time to make our way, Team STG, to the Western Conference. I know this was a lot longer than I expected, so we'll try to make the Western Conference a little bit faster. But let's get this started. So last year, the Western Conference was very intense, very competitive, and the thing is, it still is very competitive. This is a week into the NBA season, and every team except the Lakers have 1 win. Right? There's 3-0 teams in the East that have no wins, but only 1 team, which is the Lakers, have no wins. So let's get this started. The number 1 seed is going to... Gotta go with what you gotta go, man. Number 1 seed is going to San Antonio. I'm going to go with San Antonio. They're a great team. They got the depth. I'm going to go with San Antonio. Now, right now, the teams playing this year are actually playing really, really well, surprisingly. Like, they're really making statements. And number 2... I can't go with OKC this year. I'm gonna have to go with the Clippers. Yes, I think Clippers get number 2 this year. They might even be a contention for number 1. And number 3, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Mavericks. I think that this team, when it's all said and done, maybe in a couple of weeks, they're going to get their chemistry up. They're going to start really gelling together, and they have so much potential. They have so much future. Monte Ellis, Chandler Parsons, Dirk, Tyson Chandler. What a stacked team with Jameer Nelson at the point guard. Like, that's a stacked team. I see them getting the 3rd seed. Definitely making the playoffs, though. Definitely making the playoffs. At number 4, I'm going to go with Portland. I believe that this team is also a very stacked team. They are really prominent in the NBA, and they definitely do have a big time chance in making the playoffs. So number 4, we are going with obviously the Portland Trailblazers. At number 5, I'm going with the Houston Rockets. I believe that this team, even though Shaq said, even though Charles Barkley both agreed that this team is going to be like an 8 seed, 7 seed, but I think Houston right now is playing really well. Trevor Ariza really fitting in well as well. I'm going to give Houston the 5th seed. So to a recap, we're going to go number 1 with San Antonio, number 2, the Clippers, number 3, who did I have at number 3? At number 3, I had Dallas. At number 4, I believe I had Portland, right? Yes, it was Portland. And at number 5, I got the Houston Rockets. Now, this is where it gets intense. We got Golden State this year still playing. We got so many prominent teams, and I do love Golden State, and I maybe should rate Golden State higher. So I think I'm going to. I think I might have to, because Golden State definitely is a great team. So I'm gonna put Golden State above the Houston Rockets. Let's keep it at that. All right. Golden State number 5, Houston number 6. Everything is interchangeable, right? The Western Conference is a very stacked conference, and they're very deep. And the thing about the Western Conference is things can switch very easily. Very easily. Now you must be wondering, why am I not putting OKC up so high? Injuries are really killing them this year. I'm being real. Injuries are really killing this squad. So I'm going to have to put OKC a little bit later. So we got our top 6. We got our top 6. Number 6 goes to Houston. 5 goes to the Golden State Warriors. Now all we have is 7 and 8. All we have is 7 and 8, and this is why it is so hard to make a prediction video on the Western Conference. It's so unbelievably hard, because we got teams like Phoenix still in there, who I believe deserves to make the playoffs and will make the playoffs. And then we got OKC, who, it's OKC, bro. And then of course we got one more team who I believe should make the playoffs, and I hope they do, but I just can't do it. But I want them to so badly, and it's the New Orleans Pelicans, though. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to knock off Phoenix, who picked up Isaiah Thomas, who has Goran Dragic, who has the Morris dudes, and, who has Eric Bledsoe, over the New Orleans Pelicans? At number 7, I go to the OKC Thunder. At number 7, I go to the OKC Thunder. At number 8 and 9. 8 and 9, it's going to be a battle. 8 and 9 is going to be a straight-up battle between the Phoenix Suns and, of course, the one and only New Orleans Pelicans, who I believe really do deserve making the playoffs, especially after Anthony Davis, who in my opinion is going to have his best year by far. His first game was phenomenal. So, yes, that is my 8 and 9 seeds right there. I think that's pretty fair. Let's recap quickly. I'm going to do this off the top of my head. Number 1 goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Number 2, I believe, goes to the Clippers. At number 3, I had Dallas. I love Dallas, man. I think they're going to kill it this year. At number 4, I believe I had the Portland Trailblazers. At 5, I had the Golden State Warriors. At number 6, I had the Houston Rockets. At number 7, I had the OKC Thunder. At number 8, it is changeable between the Phoenix Suns and, of course, the New Orleans Pelicans, right? I think that's fair. I think that's the fairest I can go. And obviously in the Western Conference, every team is, interchangeable. It's not like the Eastern Conference, who in my opinion, number 1, 2, Cleveland, Chicago. It's not like that in the Western Conference. So I'm just putting that out there, all right? So, of course, now we got to go to number 10, 11, 12, and everybody else. So, at number 10, I'm going to have to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I still think that they have a chance to get some dubs, and I'm going to have to go with Minnesota. Number 11, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. I believe the Denver Nuggets this year really trying to make a change in the stands, and they might even get the 10th seed. Who knows? I don't know if they're going to be able to compete for the playoffs, but Ty Lawson and all them, anything is possible, bro. It's the NBA. The next seed, I'm going to go with Sacramento. I think Sacramento is still a strong contending team, but I don't think they're a playoff team yet. Maybe they could prove me wrong, and maybe they could do it, but the Western Conference is just so competitive, I just don't see them making the playoffs. It's just too hard. Finally, after that, we got, I think I'm getting almost every single team. I think I'm missing, Utah. I think Utah's going to get the next seed. And to finish off the Western Conference, please forgive me if I miss any other team, which I don't think I did. But to finish off this we got the Memphis Grizzlies too. Memphis Grizzlies right now are killing it. They're 3-0, but I don't see them making the playoffs, man. I don't see Memphis making the playoffs this year. Not when you have Dallas. Not when you have Phoenix. Not when you have New Orleans. Even though New Orleans are 1-1, I do think they're going to pick up their game. But, you know, Memphis might get that 8th seed, that 9th seed. The Western is so hard, bro. That's why I want your help in the comments down below. The Western Conference is so hard. And obviously, the last seed is going to go to the Lakers. Unfortunately, that's the hardest thing for me to say. But I don't see the Lakers making the playoffs, sir. They're 0-4. I think they're going to be the last seed. Yeah, I'm going to recap you the Western Conference one more time with Memphis included. I think that's the best way I can possibly do. All right. Number 1 will go to the Spurs. Number 2 to the Clippers. Number 3 to the Dallas. Number 4 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 5 to the Golden State Warriors. Number 6 to the Houston Rockets. Number 7 to the OKC Thunder. Number 8 going to be interchangeable between Phoenix, between the Pelicans, and I'm gonna have to add, just because this team is a consistent playoff team who knows how to play the game, I'm gonna add Memphis on there as well with the 8th seed. Number 7 seed is going to OKC because I do believe when Durant comes back and Westbrook comes back too and Reggie Jackson, everybody comes back, I think they're gonna be fine. So that is basically who I have for my, main 8, number 1 through 8 seeds in the Western East. Everybody else fills the void. I believe the Lakers, unfortunately, are going to be the last seed in the Western Conference. I love Kobe, bro. He's my role model in terms of basketball, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, man. It's all him. It's all him right now. So that is who I have, Team STG. This video was definitely a lot longer than I expected. But in the comments down below, you can let me know what you guys think. If I missed any team, if you guys have any suggestions, who's your 1 through 8 in both seeds? Let me know if it's interchangeable. If you guys want me to, in the comments down below, let me know who your entire Western Conference predictions are and your entire Eastern Conference predictions are. Because I'm definitely going to make a recap video and I'm going to compare all your thoughts and your comments to mine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, Team STG. So what I thought, just opinions. If you don't agree, don't agree. Let me know in the comments down below you don't agree. Like, that's simple as that. Hope you guys enjoyed, my friends. That was definitely a tough video to make. I'm not gonna lie. Now we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to support. And I'll see you guys soon, my friends. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.